Let's talk about 40k today. So, the winner of the polls is the Leagues of Votann. So, let's talk about them. First, before we do that, we gotta have our cage match. That's right. We got the Orcs and Chaos. You guys decide in below which one wins and which one gets booted off the stage. And we have a whole new poll. Alright, so, Leagues of Votann. What the fuck are the Leagues of Votann? Just think Space Dwarves. And just all the coolness that comes with those fucking words. Oh, I love these guys. Out of all of the factions, they're my favorite. I love their lore. I love their aesthetic, and I mean the gameplay. We could be better, but hey, anyway. So, what is the Leagues of Votann? So, the Leagues of Votann are like a space empire that lives within the deep. I almost said deep rock. The deep galactic core. Now, the galactic core, you would think, oh, other people have, settled this area. Fuck no. Fuck no. This is the most inhospitable location imaginable. Most races, when they went here, realized we can't fucking live here. There's roaming black holes. I'm dying, that's how they felt. There is sentient nebulae. I don't even know how that could be a fucking thing. Yet it is. And then on top of that, the worst and most scariest thing of all, okay? You know those type of Catan shards? Yeah, they just exist there sometimes. As like a roaming hazard. As like a singularity type thing. And now that's pretty bad. This is their home. They have learned to not only live here, thrive here, but on top of that, profit off of it. You know that meme of Deep Rock Galactic saying, we're rich? They realized that in the early stages of the dark age of humanity, and they're like, wow, yeah, no, we're really well suited to live here. We're not gonna move. And so that's where their empire is mostly located. And now you're probably thinking, what the fuck is a votann? A votann is, you know, an STC? Imagine an STC on crack. Like, it makes STCs, it literally builds, it can do anything you want, and they basically gave it the task of, help us live here, please. And so it did. And so, instead of them shagging like normal species do, they're cloned people. And every time a League of Votann member dies, their body is put back into the forge, or as it's called, the hearth. And if you're a machine, or if you are flesh and bone, you will be disassembled and basically repurposed into the next generation. And so is your memories. So that's kind of like how their version of heaven is, or I don't know, a fucked up Valhalla, where they basically join the ancestors, and now they just have the collective knowledge of the ancestors inside that votann core. Now that votann core, after enough generations of this shit just fucking happening, develops a personality and becomes sentient. Yeah, that's a little nuts. And now you're probably looking at some of the artwork and you're thinking, whoa, that's not just dwarves there. I'm seeing robots. I'm seeing machine guys. What's that? Well, they're called the Ironkin. Basically, they're just robot people. Artificial intelligences that were just given full rights. Yeah, no, right when the cybernetic revolt was happening, the Leagues just looked at the robot counterparts like, so you come from the votann too, right? Yes. Okay, I don't know why you're revolting. Let's just give you free rights. We go to the same place. We come from the same place. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, are you gonna throw that much of a hissy fit? Oh, we don't need to kill you? No, dude, you're part of the clan now. Part of the whole thing. Part of the kin. Yeah, and they call each other kin. So they're Ironkin and Fleshkin. And it doesn't matter. They're all treated the same. They all got the same fucking rights and shit. It's really cool. So it turns out when you just give robots rights, they just don't revolt, apparently. Well, I wish the Imperium listened to the Leagues, because they got a shafting so hard that they can't do AI ever again. And now you're probably looking at the Leagues and you're like, wait, hold on. So they don't have to worry about servitor issues. Oh, they gotta be advanced. They are the most advanced race outside of maybe the Eldar and the Necrons. They make they gave Tau ion weaponry, and they taught them how to make railguns. We taught the new kids on the block how to step up in it. Oh god, I loved that when I read it. I loved it. It was poetic. And speaking of advancement, we gotta talk about A, their weaponry, B, their armor, and C, the most important thing of all, a little bit more detail about the votann. Now, throughout this video, I've just thrown that out there and I say it's an AI. I need to really level on how important the votann is. Like, for some races, they have gods and they have minor deities and they have these things that they all revolve around. That is the votann for them, except the leagues want to make a very specific, distinction. They say, we're not religious. We just hold this thing in the highest veneration possible, close to a god, but if you call it a god, we'll punch you in the throat for it. They're not atheists. They're not they're atheists in the aspect they don't have gods. They looked at the other races and they're like, you guys can keep yours. We don't need them. We got our own thing. Thank you. But yeah, no, so every single member of the League of Votann will die for the votann. That's their number one priority. It's what they think about when they wake up, and it's the last thing they think about when they go to bed. It is the last thing they think about when they talk about the good long night. Yep. The votann is the most important thing. And the votann realizes that the leagues to it is the most important thing. So it's kind of like it's kind of like a family thing, where they are the head don of the family. Not like a mafia thing, but more like they're all they call each other kin. One thing you gotta learn about the Leagues of Votann that I love, and it's so refreshing for the setting, they care about each other like family. They do not care. They do not care. There will be entire expeditions just to rescue maybe 5 Ironkin. Why? Because that's Thomas. What do you mean? Thomas, Phil, and Jerry are on that fucking mining rig. They got sent into a fucking nebula hole, and we gotta save their ass. We gotta go get them. Why? 'Cause, motherfucker, Phil fills up the tanker better than anyone else we've had. Okay? Oh, he's the best bro. We gotta save Terry. What? It's not even it's not like the Imperium, where they look at a battlefield and 2 billion dead. Alright, it's still a victory, so fuck it, why not? No. It is so refreshing in a setting where nobody cares about the average Joe. Every average Joe is cared for. And they're all trained. There's so much time, dedication, and effort into every single member of the league because they all serve a purpose. It is very refreshing coming from the side of the Imperium, where it's just all clogged and red tape bureaucratic bullshit. The Eldar, where they're just scavenging for anything just to survive. And then you got the Orcs. By the way, I forgot to mention, the Orcs and the Leagues of Votann are the most bitter rivalry that is probably in 40k. I don't imagine many things hating the Leagues hate the Orcs more than any other thing. They have really redirected oath bands just to answer the call of the Book of Grudges. Yep, they have the Book of Grudges. I love dwarves! Oh my god! And they still have it. And so they literally will look at it, it's like, are they in the book? Are you kidding me? We have Skullcracker right next to us? Let's get his ass! It feels really weird because the leagues are all about, the conservatism of their resources, of their people, of everything, and especially their votann. But when they see orcs, they go a little crazy, and they're like, no, because they really realize orcs are the opposite of us in every shape and form. They are our antithesis, and we need to remove them. And so they are just going off against orcs. They will redirect, like I said, oath bands and minor fleets just to make sure an orc presence is stamped down a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty, and they have entire oath bands dedicated to orc killers. Yep, there is an entire league about it. Guess what they're called? The Orc Killer League. No joke. And then you have like a bunch of cool names, like the Dark Star Kindred, you have the Leviathan Slayers. Oh, dude, there are so many cool names and so many, like, custom ways to make your army. Like, I have a custom army of Leagues of Votann. They got funky colors. Is because the star that they orbit just gives off really weird colors. And so to them, they look at it and like, wow, that's color green. They leave that system. Why is that neon blue? What? Yeah, you can do a lot with the Leagues of Votann when it comes to, like, your own private stuff. But yeah, now let's talk about their weaponry. So they are probably the most, like, consistently, like, advanced race out of all of them, where they may not be as advanced as the Tau, but they are infinitely more consistent with their production, with how many soldiers they can arm with this stuff, and its reliability. Oh yeah. This is an army of blue-collar workers, and their gear reflects it. If you want to see blue-collar in space, Leagues of Votann are for you. So we're gonna go with the classic bolter. Yep, they got mini bolters. And they have, like, miniature gravitational, like, aiming. So, like, it'll be, like, kind of like aimbot a little bit, where the weapon will guide you, be like, no, aim this way. You're off by a millimeter. Yeah, it's so cool. And then the ion blasters and the railguns, like I mentioned. And then they got experimental weaponry. Yeah, they have a gun where it literally turns all the blood in your body into glass. They have another gun which literally removes all the minerals from your body, and then it shoots it out as a spike at another enemy. Like, they are all about, like, the most consistent stuff, and then they just full send into, hold on, let's see what some weird experimental shit with, hey, you got that gravity gun? Yeah, but it's experimental. Shoot it at the orcs. Fuck it. The best field test, dude. Oh, I love the Leagues in every fucking form. Although you're probably thinking, Jack, you've been hyping up these Leagues, and you've been the state-mandated hype man for these guys. They seem really positive. They ain't really grimdark in this grimdark universe. Yeah, well, their grimdarkness comes from the business calculation. See, they value each other, and they love each other a lot. Everyone else isn't part of that equation. Yeah, no, they will literally walk up to an imperial world and be like, we need this planet. You will have 1 day to leave. And then, obviously, the imperial world's like, haha, we're not going anywhere. And then they do a full systematic wipe of everyone off the face of the earth. Yeah. They are business calculation. They do not care. They just look at a thing. They realize they needed it more than you. They will take it. If you fight back, too bad. Get out of the way. It's your choice, and it's your choice to leave. That's how grimdark they are. And because of the rift getting opened up in the middle of the galaxy, a lot of the Leagues either disappeared or are forced to leave the intergalactic core. They are forced to leave. They don't got a choice. Because, well, when half the Leagues go away because of a warp rift, and then demons come out wherever they are, it makes your home even more inhospitable than you thought it was. So, yeah, that's what they're doing, and that's why everyone's now seeing the Leagues of Votann forever. Because for a while, they just remained hidden in the deep core, and they didn't want to fuck with anyone. They just wanted to be left alone. And they would just, anytime they would see the Imperium, it's shot on sight. Get out of here. Leave. Go away. But sometimes they do business. Sometimes they look at an Imperial world and like, listen, we don't like you, but we like money. We love the money, so let's do a little trade real quick. But if it goes sour, they're not opposed to doing planetary conquest. But yeah, no, so they're forced to leave. They're conquering new systems. And they've been forced to encounter the Tyranids a whole lot more. And what their view on the Tyranids isn't the Tyranids or, like, a cool name. They refuse to name them. They view the Tyranids as the final predator in evolution, and they are prey. And so they recognize this, and they call them the Bane. To give something a name more than that is to give them too much power. So just whenever they go by, like, the Bane's here, they will leave a system. They don't want to deal with them. Because one fucking League of Votann, I'm just going to call it one League in their Votann, okay, got encountered the first time with Tyranids. And they had no idea what they were. and they realize, oh, they're eating the bodies. Oh no, they made planetfall. We're gonna lose. Wait, they must be after the votann. They must be after that rich knowledge. We must protect the votann at all costs. And so they just kept on shooting and fighting, and they kept on losing dwarf after dwarf. And then before the Tyranids could get the bodies, they fed them into the votann so that the Tyranids wouldn't get any more biomass. And so this one votann, which was trying to think of a strategy to save its league while losing all of its members one by one. And also, remember what I said earlier, whenever they die, they get fed back into the votann, and all that accumulative knowledge and experience is shared to the votann. And so, whenever you're witnessing a Tyranid invasion, through thousands of eyes an hour, because that's how many of them were dying, it would tend to drive it a little crazy. And then the Tyranids ate every single league member. Every single one. Every Ironkin. Scrapped to shit. And they looked at the votann. They realized there was no meat with it. There was no biomass. And they left it alone. And they left it on a cold, barren world. Just to process that it lost all of its family, all of its hard work, all of its everything was for nothing. And so it drove this core beyond the realms of insanity. It is dangerous to fly near that planet. It is called the Mad Rogue Core. And it is very much so for that reason, that they don't go near it. Because the H-Votann kind of acts like the Emperor, a psychic beacon. Well, you want to stay away from that beacon. That beacon's a little fucked up. And that's it for the Leagues of Votann. I mean, I've nerded out about them enough. I've got enough of a hard-on for these fucking cool guys when it comes to their lore. They are, in my opinion, the biggest breath of fresh air that we needed for the setting outside of Vastor. We needed more stuff like this. I want there to be more of a fresh air into the setting. A fresh take. But, hey, let me know what you guys think, okay? Let me know about other factions that you just like, you know what? This brings a whole new lens to the setting. I want to hear more about your guys' experience, and I want you guys to tell me about your experience with the leagues as well. What's your view? How do you like them? How do you hate them? Because I know when they first came out, they were hated. Not because of their lore, but because of the tabletop. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I appreciate the growth that we got in this channel. You guys are beyond amazing. And guys, let's just keep the momentum going. Love you all. Peace.